What's up, DC Nation? Welcome back to another Bats of Hell video. Now guys, this is part 2 and it's Justice League number 32, and this is actually an old series because it was a series that had like Brian Hitch and stuff that switched like different writers each time, and then we had the new one Scott Snyder and then George Mez. But this is pretty much the rebirth Justice League series, and this comic part 2 of Bats of Hell is written by Robert Venditti, who he is actually writing the Justice League comic right now, so it's a very good coincidence. But also, the art by this is Liam Sharp, which I'll get to his art later in this video, but it's good, alright? But guys, so far in the storyline, we've seen, Flash push Superman through like the cosmic tuning fork to get into the dark multiverse to save Batman. But what happened was then Devastator Murder Machine showed up, Devastator destroyed the cosmic tuning fork, Batman and Superman stuck in the dark multiverse, while Flash pretty much outraced them, still got beat, and then Flash pretty much ran to a trap, ran to like a bat cave that is designed to kill him. Well, that happened to Aquaman, Wonder Woman, and Green Lantern too, because they're on their different missions to get Ninthamel, but eventually they pretty much got like through into this different portal, got transported to another Batcave, and all these 4 Batcaves were designed to kill these certain heroes in the Justice League. And in Flash's Batcave, you have Batman Red Death. So in this issue, you'll see Flash versus Batman Red Death. You'll also see Aquaman versus Batman the Drowned. You'll see Wonder Woman versus Batman the Merciless, and then maybe a little Green Lantern versus Batman the Dawnbreaker. But another thing is that Cyborg is actually held captive by the Batman Who Laughs, and he's trying to keep the signal between all the Justice League members so they can coordinate like a plan to get out of this like pretty much hellscape. This is like a bad place, and it's pretty much all designed to kill the Justice League. So it's gonna be a pretty epic issue, a lot of fights, and like I said, awesome art by Liam Sharp. So if you end up liking the video, give a big thumbs up, and new channel, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on the next Bats Out of Hell video. Alright guys, enough this intro, let's get to Bats Out of Hell Part 2. So as we continue this Bats Out of Hell storyline, we're going to see all the different Justice League members fight off like the evil versions of Batman from the Dark Multiverse. But before diving into their fights, we first got this dope cover, and this cover looks pretty cool. You see Batman the Merciless fight off Wonder Woman, and Wonder Woman is actually using her like shield to block off his like big sword, and it looks pretty cool. In the background, you see Aquaman fighting off Batman the Drowned. It's been pretty cool fights in this issue, so yeah, let's dive in. But guys, as we start off, we pretty much see all the different Justice League members in Batcaves, and you see Flash is in a Batcave that's like full of sand, and it's beneath Central City. Then we got Aquaman, which is in like this one Batcave, which is all water. It's beneath Amnesty Bay, and it's all these different evil creatures in there. Then we got Wonder Woman, which is pretty much under the foundation of Argus headquarters in Washington, D.C. Because guys, as you know, in the Batman Merciless like origin story issue, you saw Batman Merciless pretty much attack the military, all these different corporations like DEO, the Task Force X, and the military, of course. But he took over them, and now he rules it, so he has access to all these different places, and he used one of them beneath the headquarters as a Batcave to kill Wonder Woman. But guys, we also have pretty much beneath Coast City, the city without fear. There's pretty much a dark place that Green Lantern is stuck in. He's pretty much stuck in darkness. Like there's nothing to see except for Batman the Dawnbreaker, who's coming soon to kill him. But guys, we first pick up with Flash, and he's trying to see if there's any Justice League members that he hears. He's like, anybody pick up, but he can't hear anybody. And he's running through this like sand place, and the Batman the Red Death is actually chasing him. And Batman the Red Death then like disappears, and Flash is getting stuck in the sand. He's like, what'd you do? And Batman the Red Death's like, well, this sand is actually made out of nanotech that I can use to control it. So Batman the Red Death has control of the whole Batcave, the sand, so he pretty much controls what Flash is running on. So that's pretty bad for Flash. But Flash is like, okay, cute trick, but where are you? And then Batman Red Death reveals that the sand that Flash is standing on is actually quicksand. And Flash starts like pretty much sinking deep into this quicksand. He can't run as fast, and he actually sees like a Flash statue pretty much far away that has like the head off. So it's a really bad place. But then out of nowhere, pretty much comes the Flashmobile. And Batman Red Death comes out of it. This Flash is pretty much asking, okay, what are you gonna do to beat me? Because obviously, this is, I can get out of this quicksand, I can beat you. And Batman Red Death's like, well, you're pretty much like the Flash from my Earth, who pretty much what he did, he would not talk, he would just go so fast, rush through all these cases. We never had time to pretty much bond. But time is now to slow down. We have all the time in the world to talk, Barry, and then I can kill you. That's pretty much what Batman the Red Death is doing. And it has this Flashmobile. It looks dope. Like, guys, this Flashmobile, it looks cool, alright? It has all spikes and stuff. It's all made out of red. Comes in like with a boom. And you see him, and he's like, alright, I'm gonna chase you with this. And Flash is like, do you really think that one car can outrace me? Like, I've outraced many cars before. And pretty much Batman Red Death is like, I'm a billionaire, Barry, you know that. So why wouldn't I just bring multiple? And you see motorcycles, all these different vehicles that are now powered by the Speed Force going after Flash. And they start going on a race. Like, actually, all these different vehicles and Batman Red Death then race Flash. And Flash is just getting, like, outrun by them. But yeah, before we shift to the next part, what is happening in Batman Red Death, this fight of pretty much talking to Barry, is the Barry inside Bruce's mind is saying, no, don't do this. Because as we know, Batman Red Death is actually a Batman-Flash hybrid, and Barry is still in his mind. So he keeps trying to tell him, don't do this. Change back to a hero. Don't be a villain. But obviously he's not listening, and Batman Red Death would rather like kill another Barry Allen, our Barry Allen, than pretty much become a hero again. But guys, we then shift to Aquaman, and he's stuck in his back cave, and he's pretty much looking around. He's like, come out, show yourself. He's like, in this water, it's all poison water. All these like good creatures, healthy creatures are dying. All these evil creatures coming out, and then we see Batman the Drowned come out, this big creature, and this creature looks horrifying, right? And she says, it's like, you know nothing, Aquaman. You and your kind took everyone I loved. And this Batman the Drowned saying that, and it's actually true. Like, Batman the Drowned, her origin story, like, pretty much her like love, Sylvester, her love interest, died by metahumans, but also like the Atlanteans caused like chaos in her city. So she's trying to take this out on Aquaman, even though he didn't do this. That was a whole separate Aquaman on a different universe in the Dark Multiverse. And Aquaman's like, you think you'd take revenge on me even though I didn't do anything? And he tries to use pretty much his telekinetic powers, his water telekinetic powers, against Batman the Drowned, but it's not working. And she's like, you won't, she's like, do you not recognize this creature? Pretty much the creature she's riding on. Aquaman's like, who is this? And she's like, do you not recognize your love? And turns out it's Mara. This creature is Mara, guys. So, in like the Batman the Drowned origin issue, you see Aquaman and Mara fight off Batman the Drowned, and they lose. Aquaman barely gets away with Dr. Fate, but Mara gets sucked into Batman the Drowned's dark water, her pretty much army, and she's pretty much evil now. It's been turned into this horrifying creature. And guys, Aquaman, he's shocked. Like, he's horrified. He's like, man, the love of my life has now been changed into a horrifying creature, and I'm fighting it off. So Aquaman has to kill his creature, which is Mara. So that's pretty dark, guys, but still pretty good. And we continue, and then we see Wonder Woman fight out Batman the Merciless, but they're talking. And Batman the Merciless is like, do you enjoy this cave? Like, I've always wanted a home together. Because back on Batman the Merciless' universe, pretty much Batman and Wonder Woman were actually a couple. They're going to get married, maybe have kids, they're going to have like a house. But that never happened because they had a war with Ares. Wonder Woman died, and then Batman pretty much took up the Ares helmet and became a villain. But here, he's saying, he's like, never again will the gods choose our destinies. He's saying that we have all these weapons in this Batcave that we could use. And Wonder Woman's like, says the man who's wearing the helmet of Ares. Like, you're saying you don't want to have your destiny pretty much be told by gods, but you're wearing the helmet of God. So they're talking, and Wonder Woman's like, shut up, let's just fight. And they start fighting, right? And Wonder Woman's actually getting like the upper hand of Batman the Merciless. But then he starts beating her because she's like, who taught you these moves? And Batman the Merciless is like, you taught me these moves. You taught me all these different moves by the Amazons. And she's like, I would never do that. And she goes to attack him again, but he pretty much hits her with his axe. Hits her down, she falls to the ground. She tries to use her sword, but it's too much. Batman the Merciless is too powerful. And he says that, I remember after I pretty much beat Ares, killed you, I went after the Amazons and killed all of them, and now I use them as like my army. And you see all these zombie Amazons come out of it like a door, and they're pretty creepy, guys. Like, imagine being in Wonder Woman's like position, and she's standing there, right? And you have Batman the Merciless, pretty powerful, and you're struggling to fight against him. And then you have all your Amazon sisters come out of this door, and they're zombies about to kill you. Like, that's pretty frightening. But guys, as you continue, then we see Cyborg pretty much narrating this, because what's been happening this whole time is Cyborg started out this issue talking about, oh, he used to be a football player, and actually, let's go back to that page. So he used to be a football player, and you have a team, and he got all these scholarships, but he would always be driven not by himself. Like, he's a great player, but the people who actually drive his team is everyone. So all the people on his team meant something to him, because he couldn't win a game without somebody else. Like, somebody on his team, everyone on his team is very important, which is pretty much the same thing with Justice League. If you take out one member of the team, then they all lose. And he's talking about, through this issue, about each character, how Flash is pretty much like the speed of the team. Then we got Aquaman, who's pretty much like the anger of the team, who keeps fighting to the very end. Then we got Wonder Woman, who's pretty much like the spirited warrior, who pretty much will brawl anytime, like she keeps going. And then the very last member, who is Green Lantern, he is pretty much, he goes with his gut. He doesn't stop, even in the darkest time, he keeps like going through. And we see, let me get to the page, guys, we pretty much see next is he's saying pretty much the oath. He's like, in brightest day, in blackest night, no evil shall escape my sight. And he says, let those who worship evil's might beware my power. And before he can say Green Lantern's might, pretty much he's cut off by Batman the Dawnbreaker. He's like, don't even bother. He's like, your oath is worthless down here in my cave. And you see Batman the Dawnbreaker go to attack Green Lantern with his power, and Green Lantern is pretty much helpless. And you see all these different heroes. Flash is getting beat by Batman the Red Death. You see Aquaman pretty much getting sucked in by pretty much the Evil Mara and Batman the Drowned. And then you see Wonder Woman pretty much getting attacked by all her zombie sisters from Amazon. You see Batman Lash pretty much above Cyborg pretty much laughing. And Cyborg reveals that, yeah, we could have won this, but the evil Batman actually had like a secret weapon. And that secret weapon is me. And it turns out you see Cyborg and he's all hooked up to all this stuff. And Batman Lash is using him to like charge up something. Using him to pretty much destroy the multiverse, which is pretty big. So Cyborg is the evil Batman's secret weapon, even though he doesn't want himself to be. So that's how we end off this issue. Pretty much the Justice League are losing, and Cyborg is hooked up to this thing. He doesn't know what to do. And next issue, we're pretty much going to see what Cyborg is being used for, what the Batman Blast is using him to like pretty much energize. And then we'll actually see the Batman the Dawnbreaker face off against Hal Jordan. It's going to be a pretty epic fight that you don't want to miss. With the explain part of this video out of the way, let's get to my review of Battle Hell Part 2. So guys, this issue was pretty good. We got to see Flash versus Batman Red Death. I did like that with like the Flashmobile, like that looked dope. Like seeing like the spikes and stuff, and then he has different vehicles and stuff. It was really cool. Also, I did like the Aquaman and versus the Batman the Drowned. Not really the fight, but just that Mara is now like a frightening creature. Like that was actually a big twist. Like I thought she was just added to dark water, not changed to like a horrifying creature. And then the Wonder Woman versus the Batman Merciless, the whole twist about like a zombie Amazon army, that was pretty cool. And then we barely got to see anything of Hal Jordan versus Batman the Dawnbreaker, but we'll see that in the next part. But just the narration of Cyborg throughout this issue is very well done. I like the whole thing how he compares the Justice League to pretty much his football team. That's actually really cool, and turns out that he's the secret weapon that the evil Batman are using is a good twist to end off the issue. Now, the art in this issue is good. Liam Sharp just delivers on every level. Like, he's one of my favorite artists because it's just so clean, and it just shows like it really sells like that dark atmosphere, because this whole issue is pretty dark. Alright, you see the Justice League losing, you see their worst nightmares, so you put Liam Sharp in there, and it really like develops this whole issue, and it sells the idea of like a dark atmosphere. Like I said, like this very well done art, and just his best work. Like if you guys have read the whole Batman, Wonder Woman, Brave and the Bold series, that's like good work by him. He's also done some good work with like Batman. Like most of his like great work is where Liam Sharp does like Batman stories, and you should really check out those. The writing by Robert Van D is actually pretty good too. Like I said, the Cyborg like monologue is good. Now there's not a lot to it. Like we'll see more of his writing in part 4 of this crossover, but for now this is pretty good. Now some flaws with this issue. The whole like writing for Batman Red Death, like his font is very bad. Alright, like it was hard to read. When I first read this issue, where you read like Batman the Red Death's like his lines, it's all like fizzled and so it has like a white and red texture, and it's very hard to read. Like I really like squinted my eyes and I'm like, man, I'm not reading this, alright? I'll just have somebody else read it to me. Like you go on audio or something like that, or you look at like a YouTube video, it's just very hard to read, and that's not good. Like I get to try to add some like, oh, this goes with the Batman the Red Death character, but if you're gonna do that, make it at least kinda easy to read. Like you don't want it to be so hard to read that it's like, alright, I'll just skip this page. Now another flaw is the fights go by way too quickly, alright? And next issue, yeah, we see the full Green Lantern Dawnbreaker fight, that's good. But for this, we only see like different twists throughout the issue. We don't actually see them fight. Like, we end off Batman the Red Death and Flash's section of the book with them about to fight, not actually them fighting. Same with Aquaman and Batman the Dawnbreaker, we see them fight just a little bit, and then Wonder Woman and Batman the Merciless, they do fight, that was good, so I'm not going to put that in the flaw section, that was actually pretty cool. But I'd like to see Batman the Red Death actually fight, go on a full-on fight and see that, because that'd be really dope. But guys, overall, I'm going to give this issue an 8.3 out of 10. It was better than the first part, but there is some stuff they still have to like work out to make this a better crossover. If you like the video, give it a big thumbs up and YouTube channel. Make sure to subscribe because I release great Cheese content every day that you don't want to miss. And guys, you don't want to miss out on the next part of this epic crossover. It gets better as we go. Like, literally, like, all these different, like, tie-in series, like Gotham Resistance and this one, they just get better as you go because it's mostly, like, set up at the beginning and then we get to the big fights. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much the video, and peace out.